morning, 1 Million Cups Susquehanna. So if you are now coming in, back at the back of the room, there is coffee. We know that that is what fuels life for most of us. And so if you can grab your coffee, have a seat, we're gonna get started now. My name is Kendi Alvarez and I am the lead organizer with 1 Million Cups. We have a group of great sponsors that work with us. They include the Bucknell Small Business Development Center, the Columbia Montour Chamber, the Central PA Chamber, the Greater Susquehanna Valley Chamber of Commerce, Mediastead, Mindset, and I think that's everyone. I know. And so really excited that you are all here. 1 Million Cups is an entrepreneurial ecosystem. We meet on the second Wednesday of every month like this as a group to have two presenters talk about their businesses and really engage with us as a community for us to help them grow and develop their businesses. And so to start, I'll introduce Megan Beck, who is one of our members. She's our speaker coaches. And she's going to introduce our first speaker, Natalie Fox.
Hi, everybody. So thank you all for being here online and in person. Our first speaker today is Natalie Fox, who became an entrepreneur at the age of 15. And I love the initiative that she had there. She was selling candy and ice cream at that age. And now she is the owner of her own business, which is Positive Ripples Consulting. So she's going to tell us a little bit about that today. She has her master's in organizational leadership, and she has experience in all different areas of business function. And I look forward to hearing what she has to share with us today and what problems we might be able to help her solve. Thanks, Natalie.
Good morning. As Megan said, my name is Natalie Fox, and I'm the sole proprietor of Positive Ripples Coaching. There it is. So, my coaching philosophy is one based entirely around relationships. As a business and leadership coach, I believe that we as individuals create ripples throughout the world, right? Every interaction that we have, our thoughts, our actions, our words, they create ripples. And by better understanding ourselves and those around us, we can then be intentional with our choices. We can then choose to make positive ripples instead of just hoping that they turn out that way. So the services that I offer include business and leadership coaching, team coaching and training, and assessment-based coaching. Those assessments include the DISC assessment, the Clifton Strengths assessment, and motivation by appreciation. All of these services are focused on identifying individual strengths as well as team strengths when applicable, maximizing growth and achieving goals, and developing healthy relationships with self and with others. So the question I get asked a lot is, why did I choose to do this? And the main thing is that my personality, my education, my strengths, my passions, all of these things have uniquely equipped me to help people grow, who want to change, especially in the business and leadership industry. I've always been an avid learner, and I love helping others develop themselves as well as myself. And my purpose in my own personal life, as well as in my professional life, is to help people. I want to inspire them to bring about change in their own lives so that they can positively impact the world around them. So anybody can really say these days that they're a coach. They're a life coach, they're a health coach, they're a professional coach, they're a career coach. There's so many different kinds of coaches. So what qualifies me to be a coach? As mentioned, I do have a master's degree in organizational leadership through Eastern University out of Philadelphia. I have extensive experience in business administration and management. I am certified as a coach with Maxwell Leadership Team and also certified with Gallup's Clifton Strengths for their assessment-based coaching. Today, I come to you with some struggle. I have a lot of business experience, but none of my experience has ever been in the marketing realm. I've avoided it like the plague. So today, I need your feedback on identifying some effective marketing channels and then helping me determine what kinds of information would best generate leads and get some referrals. And that was probably way shorter than 6 minutes because I talk really fast when I'm in front of people. Sorry. Yes.
Can you just start by sharing what maybe, even though you said you avoided it, could you share maybe what you have tried for marketing or what
Yes.
you've had as success?
Absolutely. So I don't know anything about whether it's been successful or not. I do have a website. I'm not 100% satisfied with my website. However, it's existing. It's got the information available to it. I am also on all the social media platforms, posting anywhere between 2 to 3 times a week. I don't really get a whole lot of activity through my social media, so I don't know if that's successful or not, but at least I'm out there. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much networking. I'm doing lots and lots of networking. Yeah.
Are you able to use referrals from prior clients?
Yes, I am working on getting referrals. Yes, from clients and from people that I'm making connections with. I feel like that's been my biggest opportunity, but I would really like to be able to tap into some of those less intensive type of leads. So.
Describe your ideal client.
Absolutely. So my ideal client is really a person in the business or leadership role who wants to change. So I obviously can't help somebody who is set in their ways or who has no interest in making a difference. But I'm looking for clients who want to make a difference in their own lives and in the lives of their team members. So even if I start by just coaching that leader and eventually get to coach their team members or offer some kind of training to their team members, I believe that it makes a huge impact just to start with the leader as well. In terms of the type of business, I'm looking for smaller businesses, somewhere under 50 employees, because I feel like that's manageable for one solo person to be handling. And they need to be somewhat established because obviously coaching is not necessarily an inexpensive commodity. So they need to be able to make sure that they can financially support it.
That they go through, or is there some type of, some people have a method that they go through with everybody? Is that what you do, or do you try to alternate it based on need and?
Yeah, so my coaching platform methods are pretty flexible. I have a few packages for timeframes and how often we meet, but for the most part, I like to leave it up to the client based on their needs, their interests, and what works best for their schedule.
Natalie, we have a recommendation from Kelly
Okay.
online, and Kelly typed in get testimonials from past clients to add to your website and social media.
That is an excellent suggestion, and I am in the process of doing that right now, so I really appreciate that confirmation.
In that regard, not just written testimonials, but ideally if you can do a video testimonial,
Okay.
something like that, then help them, they will help them market that and drive traffic to that video testimonial as well.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Do you have any way, or have you tried to look at, kind of what impact your social channels actually had? Just in terms of, okay, how many hits are you getting, how many click-throughs are you getting?
Yeah, so
It says you'll get the most traction on LinkedIn, especially if you can run some of those testimonials.
sure. Yeah, I'm not very social savvy. I was telling somebody just the other day that before I started my business, I actually had no social media personally. So I'm also learning the platforms as well. I know that there are ways to look at the metrics. Some of them have good information. Some of them I'm like, I don't know what that means, but that's great. So I'm working on getting some more education in that area.
And kind of to complement that, I just think in general, your personality exudes a warm, inviting attitude. So my question is would you be comfortable utilizing something like LinkedIn to do a LinkedIn Live, like a lot of people push out a podcast or blog, or even offer like 30-minute segments where people can come in with their problems? Is something that would start to build up your reputation in a more organic way because you've put a little bit out there for them to understand you and your philosophy, and so maybe that might help to branch you out.
Sure, absolutely. That's definitely something to consider. Thank you. Any others?
How can your clients get a feel of how it is to work with you? And I think some of the videos or the free kind of sampling,
Yes.
I think is a really good idea.
Okay, excellent. So I do have that kind of built into my in-person interactions where I do like to obviously meet people in person because you get to experience me as a person. And then I do have a complimentary service for like a 1 hour free session sort of thing to start it off, just to see if we can be a good fit. But I haven't found a way to integrate that into an online platform. So thank you. Megan.
Yes, so what I was going to say is sort of bouncing off of what Denny said, and that is that the networking or identifying your specific demographic. So your small businesses, you said that's your demographic. So your chambers of commerce, your local downtown organizations, and networking with those. As we said earlier, you've got a great dynamic personality, and I think that interaction with people is really going to engage people, and you're going to get referrals and recommendations.
Yeah.
Building off of, excuse me, that, are you a member of the SBDC?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'll send you a check later.
I am in a similar position to you and have found it extremely helpful, just the connections through the SBDC as well as the chamber.
Yes.
And creating those relationships organically. Social media has not been fruitful for me. I still post and have a presence because if someone looks me up, they can see, oh, yes, she exists, and is current. But I think you said it in your opening line, you're relationship based.
Yes.
So I think that is your best marketing strategy.
Okay.
I like we have Jason from Zoom. Has
Okay.
a comment.
Hi, I just had two thoughts. Really, there are kind of two methodologies that I would try. One is to become an influencer, and that's where you create content and lots and lots and lots of it. You were saying that you are on social media several times a week. You should increase that to several times a day to use the influencer strategy. But by creating lots of content, then people get the perception that you're an expert, and they say, wow, I need to be personally in touch with this person. The other strategy is called a lead magnet, and that's where you give them something for participating on your website, and that gives you the opportunity to contact them directly. That could be a checklist, it could be an ebook, some type of something of value in exchange for them giving you your contact information. And
Perfect. Thank you.
that's kind of the two strategies that I've seen effective with speakers and coaches.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes.
I want to build off of that. There's a lot of conversation right now about 2021 was the year of the crypto millionaire. 2022 was the year of everyone lost everything. 2023, there's a lot of conversation about it being the year of the content creator millionaire. And your business is content. Social media is the platform to deliver it. And so it's not just a marketing tool, but it's a way for you to actually engage with potential clients in a way that your philosophies are not just for business. A lot of it's going to transfer over to life, and as people see it and we start to share it, your marketing has a potential to actually generate revenue for you. So I would recommend finding a social media coach who can teach you how to make reels, how to deliver some of your content in a 30-second, easy to absorb way that people want to share. So it's not just going to lead you to clients, but it's going to, it's a new way to engage with your client.
Okay. Perfect. Diane, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. What is your desired geographic reach?
So starting off, I'm sticking pretty much in this area. I'm willing to, I don't have a physical office space. So I do work through Zoom or through the phone, but my preferred method is in person, obviously. So I'm willing to travel to people as far as Harrisburg and Williamsport and Wilkes-Barre and State College. So I'm kind of like creating this little circle for myself of area to start with. With technology and Zoom, I know that I can broaden that at some point. I know that I have connections in places that I've lived before, worked before, that obviously they wouldn't fit into this particular area, but I could potentially utilize them as sources in their respective states and cities once I get more comfortable doing things more virtually.
I would first encourage you to think broader.
Okay.
Immediately here.
Okay.
And also, if you're not doing it already, I encourage you to do some public speaking. Public, to some of the earlier points, you are this business, you are the brand, and some of the best marketing is getting in front of people, letting them experience you and your dynamic personality firsthand.
Sure.
The other thing I wanted to share, and in regard to I think it was your second written challenge about, what is the right information to present?
Mm-hmm.
Be clear about specifically how you can help people. So try to avoid the real vague statements like, I will help you to, just lost the word I wanted to use. Find your potential, your true potential. Specifically, what will you change? How will you change the condition of that person or that team or that organization?
Okay.
So in all of your messaging, be clear about that. Because that's what people want to know.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
How can you help me?
And maybe the first, I'm sorry, is it Dr. Hall? Did I get your name right? Yes. Maybe partnering with the Ziegler Consulting?
Hey, I made a note. Trust me.
I was going to piggyback onto the statements about potentially becoming an influencer and using the social media coach, which I think is definitely to kind of just a little tactical bit on that, because when they say several times a day, it sounds really daunting, and it kind of is. But what I'll suggest just tactically is, and your coach would probably tell you, put several weeks of kind of be specific about what kinds of problems you can help solve, but sort of general pieces. Several weeks in the can before you start.
Okay.
It's a cartoonist trick. Work ahead.
Okay.
And you can do topical stuff. In that way, my gosh, I got to do 4 more pieces for tomorrow because I'm out.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Well, in this room, there may or may not be another coach but what differentiates you from them?
Sure.
And make sure that you help people. I think that is really going to help you. And I love the fact that you're very authentic. I think that's very disarming in a great way. So.
Thank you. Leslie?
Having met with Natalie and gone through the Clifton Strengths Assessment, I will give her a testimonial that I've had a lot of coaching in my life, and it's all been very different. And I found that Natalie finds a way to ask you questions that are just very natural, very comfortable, but you realize yourself how you're going to make a change. So if that's helpful for me to share via testimonial, I will be happy to do that.
Thank you, Leslie.
Say there's your first testimonial.
And I'll echo that because my right honorable friend Leslie and I are on the same team. And Natalie's been helping us with. We had a conversation just yesterday afternoon. And I will say that the conversation was mindful, it was meaningful, and was positive. And we all go through these coaching sessions, and we know what they are. We know what they are. Now, it's changed. The tide has changed in the coaching over the years. 28 years. But I will tell you that Natalie does it in a very positive way. And I was interested to see what was on my Clifton shrimps because I wanted to see if there was any surprises. And Natalie was very clear with them. And again, the questions were absolutely outstanding. And I thought we had a great conversation. It was, if not, it was the best coaching session I think I've had on outside.
Thank you.
Kind of to go off of what both of them said, and science, social media, all that, and you being your brand, I think we're also assuming that when you are posting, you're posting yourself. I don't know if it's words, quotes, or whatever, but I think to add into what they said, they both mentioned that you ask very good questions. I think, so one, showing yourself in social media, I have a love-hate relationship with that, so I know that can be tough, especially speaking. But I think giving samples of the things that you either apply in your own life, words you go by, or other things to help your mindset, and asking questions, posing a question in a reel or a story to make someone think, wow, because they just said you asked them questions that really made them think about certain things. So presenting even questions, not waiting for an answer in your story or reel, but that can get people thinking too. And just sharing things that you apply in your own life to help them say, yes, I want it that way, I want it. So just kind of sharing back with some of that little free information, little tips like that, but just sharing that and definitely showing yourself, because I think people will definitely just want to hear more of what you have to say.
Thank you. Any others? Does that mean I'm done?
Gives me great pleasure to introduce our second presenter today, Jessica, or Jess Fester. Jessica is CEO of Work Inside Out LLC. She is a fitness and nutrition company. She is a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. And I just have to say, when I got on the phone with Jessica for the first time, having not met her in person, getting on the phone for her for the first time a few weeks ago, helping her to prepare for her presentation today, what a joy. Most friendly, bubbliest person I've met in some time. So I would like to say, if you're feeling like you could use a dose of positive energy today, connect with Jessica after her presentation. And so please join me in welcoming Jessica Fester to our entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Hi. That's a lot to live up to in just a few short seconds. So hi, my name is Jess. My company is called Work Inside Out. It is a fitness and nutrition company offering personal training sessions that are virtual through an app or in person. I also do virtual nutrition consulting and nutrition coaching. The variety of programs that I offer kind of differs from person to person. So my mission is to build strong and empowered individuals who will prioritize their health by uprooting old habits, cultivating new ones to support a lifestyle of just living and leading with excellence. So I just want to take a second to say that excellence varies from person to person and from situation to situation. So excellence for one person might look like being able to pick up a really heavy weight and put it down over and over and over again. That's my meathead joke. But excellence for another person might be, I just want to be able to walk without pain. I just want to be able to have energy to be able to take care of my kids at the end of the day. I want to be able to get back into the body and the shape that I was in prior to having kids. Excellence looks different for everyone. So I just want to leave you with that thought for a second, because excellence seems like this really impressive word, and it means something so different for everyone. So a little bit about my story. Work Inside Out, WRK, started as an Instagram handle for me in 2018 as a self-accountability. I want to get back into the previous shape that I was in after having my third baby, and decided, why not? I saw a bunch of people doing it and I thought, I could do that. And it's a way for me to kind of hold myself accountable. So I did that for about a year. I ended up hiring my own coaches in 2019, became friends with bodybuilders. That was a time. And so what started happening was, I started getting influenced by these people. I started getting excited. I wanted to do it well, pick things up, put them down, be jacked. That was my goal initially. Work Inside Out became a business idea for me in 2020, pandemic, go figure. But in that time, while I had my own coaches, that's kind of where my influence was coming from. Unfortunately, my experience with coaches was not the best. So my very first coach that I had actually ended up basically running my metabolism into the ground. If you didn't know that could happen, you're welcome. You learned something new today. The second coach that I had was great, got my body back into the condition that I wanted it to be in, but he taught me codependency. I didn't know how to be healthy without him and without his help and without a certain number of calories and macros, and I didn't know what that looked like by myself. So, you know how when you're growing up, your parents usually will tell you, don't worry, I went through that because, now you don't have to and you can learn from my experience. That's basically what my coaching experience was like. I went through it so that my clients don't have to. In 2022, I officially went full-time entrepreneur. Yay, it was a huge accomplishment. Yeah, it was a big deal. And I'm about to go through my first round of business taxes. Pray for me. I don't know what to expect, okay? So what sets me apart? As a coach, I focus on the root of a habit and habit change. I find that you can recommend for somebody to eat nutritionally, filled and rich foods, and that can only go so far if they are snacking in the middle of the night because that's what they really like to do, or skipping meals because they're really busy. Let's all be real. We've all been there, right? Everybody? Yes. So I look at habit change instead. I embrace food. You can't really see my slide on there. That's okay. But that's a picture of me with cookies. I love cookies. They're a staple in my house. I try not to moralize food. I try not to label food as good or bad. And then collaboration. I work with my clients on what they are ready, willing, and able to do. And that changes week to week and month to month. So we only do what they are feeling like they can take on, as well as me wanting to collaborate with other people, other coaches, other trainers, other people in the medical field, physical therapists. I want to be able to collaborate to form a team for my client. So looking ahead for the future of Work Inside Out, I'm looking to expand my client base. I'm really excited. I want to be able to help those with special needs and functional limitations. So, being able to work with people that are pre and post rehab, anybody with neurological conditions, so brain and spinal injuries, metabolic conditions that can range from diabetes to obesity, cardiorespiratory conditions, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, asthma, orthopedic conditions, so arthritis, or even having amputations or being in a wheelchair. And the one thing that I didn't mention earlier, but I actually go to my clients. So I don't have a brick and mortar location. I do not have my own location. I actually travel to my people. So that's a lot of fun. That being said, I am looking to potentially also have my own space someday. So work in progress. So some of my areas of opportunity. I am looking for feedback on technology integrations. So I'll give you some examples of what that would look like for me. So right now, when a client decides to become a client, I am sending things out by email to them individually. So whether that is a shopping list, whether that is a health assessment, I personally have to go in there, type everything out, and really kind of custom tailor it person to person. I don't mind doing that, but as my clients start to come in by the hundreds, I'm gonna need some sort of technology integration there. Booking for somebody to be able to book a consult with me. Right now, they kind of go through this little page on my website, and then I go and I touch base with them. Having an ability to have like a calendar feature, and I know that it all exists. I just haven't figured out how to do it by myself. I need some help. And then scheduling check-in calls with my existing clients so that nobody falls through the cracks. I want something that's kind of automated, that automatically goes out to them that says, hey, it's time to check in, let's touch base, or whatever. And then, of course, marketing is always an area of opportunity as well. I am on all social media platforms, at least the ones that I feel like are the common ones: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I do post pretty frequently. I'm on my stories all the time, acting a fool with my children and my husband, and talking about things like food and diet and all of that stuff. But I just want to know if for what I'm looking to do, like, just where should I be? Right now, social media is a lot more like a lookbook for me. People go, they can connect with me through my reels, through my videos, through pictures. I just need a little bit more. I do not get a lot of clients from social media right now. A lot of my people are coming to me just by recommendation and word of mouth. So that's me. All right, so now it's question time. Okay, hit me. Yes.
I'll just hit on the technology piece because I'm an independent consultant, and some of the things I use to kind of help myself out, specifically calendar, because somebody always needs on my calendar. There's a product called Calendly. I can never say it right.
Okay.
Calendly, I think. But it feeds multiple calendars of yours. So if you have one for your family and your business, you set up how it blocks off time, and then you set up how they can put themselves into your calendar. 15-minute session, this, and this.
Nice.
And you can do days of availability. You can do it by the week, whatever.
Perfect.
So you put in, so then when I email somebody, it's in my signature, like, meet with me, and they can click it and
Yeah.
it'll show the availability of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen that those things exist. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, Kendi. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
I've seen a lot of the inside sales reps that I've used that. It's something that's pretty robust.
Cool. Thank you.
So you definitely can. I think that let's start at the beginning. You need a CRM, a customer relationship management, and that is a program that you're going to use to manage your clients from inception through your entire process. And it will help you to systematize a lot of your communication. So like at the beginning, you probably need to get a lot of information from them, but you don't want to bombard them with all of the questions at once. But there's a lot of information that you could probably get by having them fill out like a Google form, or like all of these things that you can have trickle into other places. And so thinking big picture and setting a big chunk of that up front will make it that much easier when you go from 5 clients to 25, especially if it happens in a short period of time. You can scale at that level because you have this set up.
Yeah.
And so it's figuring out what that system is and then finding the right tool, but some sort of customer relationship management. Then I'm not done yet. Put your hands
I forgot like 10 years ago.
It's like, whoa. And so what you're going to want to look for because there are lots of options out there, is that you're going to want one that integrates well with other tools that you're going to use, like Calendly, or any sort of like additional marketing tools, because there's lots of stuff that can help you to scale. You just want to make sure that when you're picking a system, it can talk to the other systems that you're going to use.
Yeah.
You don't pigeonhole yourself into something that then doesn't work with any of the other tools you
Yeah. So are you referencing something like, just to make sure that I'm something like a HoneyBook or like those types of things?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. totally went and downloaded a bunch of them and then overwhelmed myself and then undownloaded all of them.
Do you know Annie McCarty? Yeah, Troop 47 is her most recent venture in Danville.
Okay.
But she also had Essentially Annie, which had lots of different iterations, but she is a systems expert. It is not necessarily what she's doing right now, but she's the girl that you're going to want to talk to.
Be friends with her.
He told me to ask you questions. And what do I, this is what I'm looking to do. She's worked with almost all of them. She'll be able to say, like, this is kind of where we want to go.
Be friends with Annie.
Yeah.
Noted.
Can the virtual audience go now?
Fine.
Okay, I cleared the way for you, Jason. Kendi has relinquished the mic to you.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I want to say yay for someone that wants to work with people with disabilities. I am one, however, it is a big gap. People don't look at us as being physically able. They look at our disabilities, and yet I have to pay attention to nutrition and keeping my physical capabilities that I do have, which are limited. So that's a big challenge. That's on a personal note. On a business note, I hear two things. One is you need a website that you can build and expand. First, to bring in new customers, and second is to manage that flow of information to your existing customers, giving them each a login that they can log in using their Gmail address, and there's all of the documents that you need to provide them are behind that wall. And that way you're not giving away the store, but once they've come into the store, you can deliver it efficiently. Integration, Kendi mentioned integration. That's key. But you want it you want your website to be the hub. The other thing that I hear from you, and this is my tiny bit of criticism, is that you want to help everyone, right? The problem is not everyone wants your services, and not everyone is able to pay for your services. So you have to focus on the people that want it and the people that can afford to pay for it. And some people, like me, are going to be left behind because I want it, but I don't know if I can afford you. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I have to get a good value proposition for my money. So I may or may not be able to write you that check. So that's my feeling, is that by becoming more focused on the customer, or more focused on specific types of people or ailments, diabetes is a big one. By focusing on people who have diabetes and preventing loss of limbs, that can be huge. And they're definitely willing to pay for it because there's so much at stake. So that's kind of what I mean, is specialize. The tighter you niche, the more people you will serve, which is it's counterintuitive.
Yeah,
So
but it makes sense. I definitely have felt myself slowly gravitating towards a more narrow audience since I've been doing it for a little while, but I appreciate that feedback so much.
don't go slowly, go straight to it.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Laser focus.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just Kelly online supported the Calendly. She also mentioned she puts questions in the Calendly and for them to answer when they schedule, and then they can get reminders and opt in for texting.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you, Kelly. You're beautiful. I know Kelly. Yes.
As also a fitness professional, you're not doing it full-time anymore because of the very same challenges that you're facing. My two recommendations would be, as a coach, to try to identify centers of influence, so other health professionals who, when those special focus areas, people with recently diagnosed with heart disease, diabetes, other specialized needs, that they can then refer those patients to you.
Yes.
Because doctors often say, oh, you have diabetes, yeah, you need nutrition, and what they can recommend only goes so far.
Yes.
You need the help after.
Yes.
That formal health stops. So develop your centers of influence for referrals.
Okay.
Afterwards. And number two is consider being involved in a fitness organization. I would recommend IDEA Health and Fitness.
Okay.
They're an international organization. And by becoming a member, they provide a lot of that specialized software that you're talking about. At the very worst, you develop a network of folks who are doing the same thing as you are, that you can rely on, that they can give you industry-specific software needs, calendar needs, scheduling needs, because they're going through it already.
Right.
And at worst, it's a really fabulous conference every year.
Nice. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes.
I just want to piggyback off of something that Jason said about really defining your target market, because what that does for you is you start to learn their pain points, you learn what issues they have that you can solve, and it really saves you a lot of time and energy in all your communication with.
In conjunction with what Lisa just said, expanding your centers of influence, I used to sit on the Y board for way too long here, and one of the things that we did, and I'm using this as an example, but you can broaden it to YMCA, local YMCA did put on cooking classes. They did things especially for people with special needs and mobility issues. They did nutrition. They have nutritionists in from Rice Markets to talk to them specifically about diabetic diets and things like that. I don't know if they've done them in a long time. I've been away from the board, but those kind of things went a long way, and we always had a packed class.
Yeah.
And I say packed, it's 20, 25 people. But that helps you broaden, and it does get you more skillful in what you do. So it does two things. It kind of markets you out there. There are other things too. Life Geisinger is another one that deals with special needs folks. My wife was at TSS for them for many years, and they cover a large area, but they deal specifically in people with special needs. And my wife is not a nutritionist; she just helped them with everyday living. That's kind of what she had to do, help them, balance a checkbook, etc.
Yeah.
No one talks to these folks about exercise, fitness, or diet, and no one's talking to those folks directly. So there's a few avenues locally that you might want to explore if you're going to target your audience that way.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some tax advantages to doing that.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks.
If you know of anyone who is an entrepreneur, someone who is thinking about a business, has a business, might want to start a business, and they could use some help from our community, please have them sign up. It is 1,000,000 Cups /Susquehanna. That is our community. Have them sign up to present. We will meet next month in February 8th, which is the second Wednesday in February. 9 a.m. at the Lewisburg Downtown Partnership Office. That's at 328 Market Street in Lewisburg. And then March is at,
Can I just add to that? February 8th, downtown Lewisburg, we're going to kick off a new extension of that. We're opening the incubators back up after the 1 million Cup. So Startup Lewisburg will be open if you want to work in downtown Lewisburg for the day.
From the beautiful DeWitt Building.
From the DeWitt Building at 416 Market Street. And also be providing lunch. So we'll host an entrepreneur networking event that same day. So
wow. Look at that. You get coffee with 1 million cups, lunch from the SBDC and Startup Lewisburg. And then in March, we're doing the same thing at Drive in Danville. And so you can follow us throughout the Susquehanna Valley for the rest of this year. We've got every date for 2023 booked up. And so we'll be popping through all of our different communities. If you have any questions, you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, stay up to date with things. And thank you so much for coming.